welcome to this week's Ask GMBN. We're back in the shed and we're going to try and answer your questions sent to us via social media using the hashtag Ask GMBN or in the comments down below videos like this.
Yeah, and the first questions are quite tech, so I'm going to ask you these, Neil, because you know that kind of stuff. The first one is from Billy Cordero, and he's saying, GMBN, please explain the difference between fold bead and wire bead tyres.
Well, folding bead tyres are lighter. Wire bead tend to be the cheaper, heavier tyres, so mostly you'll use wire bead tyres.
Right.
Folding bead tyres, sorry.
Is there better performance in either, or?
I don't think there's much difference. I think it's just weight thing.
There you go. Weight. It's always about weight in mountain biking, isn't it? Always. Right, this one, I'm not sure what you're going to think about this. Nathan G. Reaming a seat tube from 30mm to 30.9 to fit a dropper post. Strength issues, and would you recommend it?
Wouldn't recommend that at all. I wouldn't recommend drilling your frame or reaming.
No.
I can't imagine it's a good idea because they're so thin, the tubes, that even taking, that's almost a millimetre, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah,
Reaming, scary idea. Don't go there, Nathan. Right, good one here from Wesley Calverley. How do you snot rocket from a full face helmet? Now that is a good question.
It's possible. I've done it before. You don't want to do it really.
Well, it's a question of pull down or push up.
So I've done it in like these mega long enduro stage races where you could be doing a 20-minute race and you just do it.
Let me demo this for you.
Get on with it.
We're talking about a down and boom, or an up and boom. It's one of the two.
But you've got to take your hands off the bars to do that, though.
Well, everyone can do no hands on bikes, can't they?
True. Well, not everyone, but...
we might do a... Does my hair look good now? We might do a no-hander how-to, and then we can all do snot rockets.
Let's do it. Why not?
Thank you for the question, Wesley. And the last one here, this one's a good one for you, Neil, actually, because you love the old fat bikes. Johannes wants to know, do you think plus-size tyres bikes will be used more in Enduro in the future?
That's a tough question to answer. I don't think anyone's using them just yet. I've ridden mine quite a lot. It's super fast in the right conditions. Doesn't go quite as well in slippy conditions where your tyre doesn't bite in. And the tyre technology needs to be a little bit better so they don't puncture. But if they sort that out, I think they could work really well.
Yeah.
Especially rough, dry conditions.
And on that note, why don't we take a look at the fat bike versus plus bike video?
Let's do that. The 802 man says, I went for a night ride the other night and didn't notice my bike was wet until after. The next morning, the cassette was rusted. Is there any way to fix this?
Not really. Not really. Well, there is, isn't there?
Well, I find that if it's a little bit rusted, just lube your chain up and ride it. It'll probably come off. Or use a wire brush if it's really bad. But
yeah, or if it's like my son's bike and it's got very rusty, you've killed it.
Right.
That does happen. I've got a question here from Matt and his bike, and this is for you, Neil. What on earth were you looking at in last week's Ask GMBN at 7 minutes 40? Do you remember?
Yeah, we're sat in the middle of a summer gravity camp in Whistler, and there was loads of kids, hundreds of them, riding around and hitting jumps on their tiny little bikes, so it was really cool.
And was that Jackson dude there?
No, talking about kids like this big, hitting cool little jump boxes.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Jackson Goldstone...
he is about that big.
Yeah, so, thrashing the trails. It's worth a look. Okay.
Right, Dylan Phillips asks, hey GMBN, I'm looking at buying the new Specialized mountain bike. He's looking at the fuse or the rule. They're gender specific. One's male, one's female. His question is there anything he should look at, anything he should consider when buying one of these gender specific bikes, like geometry? Are they different between them?
Well, sometimes mostly they tend to be a smaller frame with a graphics change. Not always the case.
I know some full suspension bikes, they'll sort of valve the shocks differently for the ladies.
Yeah, slightly light, so it's for a lighter frame.
Yeah, who knows really? I guess, pick the one you really like.
The one you like, I can say that I have done this version of cross-dressing in bicycle form because I did ride an Orange Diva for a year, which is their ladies' version of the 5, because it was really small and compact and I could do loads of trials tricks on it. Nice. And I've got to say it was a fabulous bike and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's okay to do it. It's whatever you like really, isn't it?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. I would maybe consider that there's probably more men that ride, so when he comes to sell it at the end, you might find the male version slightly easier to sell. Who knows?
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point.
Right. Noah R 2011. asks, GMBN, are hardtails okay for jumping, and what is the largest size of jump you could attempt with one without damaging your bike?
And you can go as big as you like.
As long as you've got a proper landing. You see people hit massive jumps on hardtails.
It's a mixture of two things, really, isn't it? It's a proper takeoff and the proper skills to combat that takeoff.
We saw a lot of people riding hardtails at the Red Bull Joyride, and those jumps are absolutely huge.
Yeah.
You should check out our how to bunny hop on a hardtail video.
Let's have a look.
The start is exactly the same as a full suspension bike. You're looking for that L shape with your hips. So stand nice and tall, pump down, and then to the back of the bike in one smooth motion.
Okay, it's the quick fire round.
Right, here we go. Alexandra House, what do you prefer, natural trails or bike park trails?
Oh, I like bike parks. I love them.
Natural trails for me.
There you go. Ben Askham, Whistler or Alps for the UK riders?
You've got to go to Whistler once in your life, but it's more expensive for UK riders to get there.
Yeah. Are you not a real mountain biker if you haven't been to Whistler?
Well, that's a bit harsh, probably.
Yeah, because I haven't been.
Right. Oh, bloody hell. Alex Shaddy, ever hucked to flat?
I have never hucked any other way.
I've seen you huck to flat.
Bjorgvin Manny Trosterson, thanks for that. GMBN, my front wheel is always getting loose. What's the best way to fix it?
Loose, by that I presume you mean sliding. So I would check your front tyre pressure. Check your front tyre, is it good? And check your front suspension. Is it too hard, too soft?
Well, see, I was going another way with that, and I thought he just needed to tighten it up.
Right,
see,
true.
my brain, I don't know.
Oh, maybe he does mean that.
Yeah.
Right, last one, Jan Emmerich. Do you guys come to Eurobike next week?
We guys do.
We guys don't. Scott's there.
Scott's there. He'll be there enjoying all the new tech. Okay, it's time for correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay, it's time for Correct Me If I'm Wrong, the part of the show where you send in videos and then we get to have a look, critique it a little bit and maybe give you some advice. So what have we got this week, Nick?
Right, first one comes from Teddy P, hitting some jumps, some dirt jumps. So let's have a look.
Nice, that's a UK trail set, that is. Called
Sands.
Chick Sands, yeah. Nice spot.
Looks good, nice little tweak.
Nice style.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Mark, for learning tricks?
Learning tricks, what I say, because he's got a really nice style and he's dumping the nose in, I would start learning something like a tuck no hander because that's the opposite of that. So you're going to get a different shape to your jump, and it's also quite safe because you can just drop the bars into your lap, and until you're really comfortable, you don't actually have to take your hands off. But the bike's in a nice stable position, nice high front end. Fun trick to learn.
Yeah, definitely quite easy. And if you start doing bigger jumps with a bit more air time, you'll also find that a little bit easier as well.
Yeah, so maybe get one of the bigger guys at the trails to drag you through one of the bigger sets.
But looks good.
Yeah, but nice style. Okay, next one is from Scott Cooley. So let's have a look at his jumping style.
He says he's quite new to jumping and he finds it quite intimidating.
Yeah. Right, now when it comes to correcting jumping, I don't know if I'm really the guy for this because my form in jumping is not good.
It's not bad.
So over to Neil on this one.
I would say, like Scott, you've already mentioned about practicing the bunny hop technique. That's definitely going to help. And I would say you need to relax a bit. You look really sort of stiff on the bike when you hit the takeoff, and that can lead to sort of going sideways in the air when you don't want to. So really relax. And even if you practice just soaking up the takeoff, that'll get you moving around on the bike and get used to the timing of that jump. So just practice, really.
Yeah, but thanks for sending it in, Scott. And if you've got a problem and no one else can help, then maybe you need to ask GMBN. Yeah. See where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So keep your videos coming to ask@gmbn.com and maybe we can help you out or answer your questions.
Yeah, or maybe we can send the 18.
Maybe.
That's it for this week's Ask GMBN. But you should definitely watch some more videos whilst you're here. Click down there for how to keep your bike silent.
And click down here for our top 5 trail features in Whistler.
Click on the logo to subscribe.
Yeah, and give us a thumbs up like.